Yeah, I remember first time playing this game when my friend told me about it, and we joined I think it was the official EU server first, and yeah, I mean it was fun, but yeah, not really great. Then we went on to some, I don't even know the name of it, but yeah, some server that had some body down rules and all that stuff, and was not fun. And I think I even uninstalled the game after that, and then he told me about a server called, if I remember correctly, it was something like all dinos, like high AI or something. And so I installed it again and I tried it. It was just amazing. So I think I have like maybe 5 hours of gameplay on other servers, and I have maybe 1,000 hours on the Old Dinos High AI server, which is now called Asura. Yeah, and I've just stuck with it for a very long time now.
My first experience in the community was at the beginning of COVID. I was working from home quite a bit, so I was able to play more games during the daytime, which is when the majority of the Asura-Community is active. A friend I played with on another server signed up for the Asura Easter event and signed me up as well. That was my first experience here, and it was a very fun event. Running all over Thenya as a Carno, trying to find little juvie trikes hiding under trees as eggs. After winning a pile of points, I started playing regularly on Thenya when it was still server 2. There's so many cool aspects of the player base, from friendly carnivores to bloodthirsty hunters to talented artists, role players, and content creators. If you've ever played with me, you know my favorite part of the game is growing and nesting, primarily as a Utah. I've met so many amazing people in the community and developed friends I consider family. Having it as an outlet during such a difficult time helped me get through something with online friends when we weren't able to see friends or family in person. One of the reasons I became an admin was to preserve those experiences for others in the community by ensuring a fun and safe environment. As we continue to grow and welcome new members, I look forward to our next chapter together.
So the first time I started playing this game was actually through Antomnia, because I saw one of the Antomnia's videos on my recommendations on YouTube. For 3 years I kinda served around different servers and stuff. First time I started properly playing every day almost was when I met Nikki and Dino. Yeah, basically we started playing as the 3 of us. I think that was the first no rules server for me that I tried, and it was so much fun. Yeah, my most memorable is with Nikki and Zio. We basically found the Asura and stuff. It was maybe my most memorable moment. After that I've been, Asura has been around 3 years almost, and I've been here every single day, from the beginning. Reason why I hang around was, obviously it was Nikki and Xiana though. We had so much fun playing. It wasn't big community, we had around 10-20 people at best. But then it grew fast. It started to gain more attention from people, and soon there was we needed more servers. And Nikki put the servers up, and that's that. It started getting crazier and crazier. One day there was 100 new players join the Discord and server, and next day there would be 300 plus people joining. I've been part of Asura 3 years. I've been in and out admin a few times, but what brings me back to the Asura is the community and all the friends I've made here. Most of my friends around Discord, Steam, etc. that I play nowadays, even nowadays, I all met through Asura, Discord and stuff. I could basically say that it's all thanks to Asura. I've had so many enjoyable moments in life and in games, of course. But yeah, it has definitely changed my life. One moment, if I could choose to relive, is it would be the moment the Asura was started. Nobody knew back then that how big it would grow like so soon. Like I think we hit our 10k people under a year when the Asura was started. So yeah, it kind of went crazy after that.
I think my most memorable experience, funny enough, is when Lengjan decided he wanted to start like a global war on Asura number 6, or maybe it was 5. Yeah, I think it was 5. That was pretty fun. It was nice to, hang out with a lot of the community people and have a fun fight. Everybody likes little fights. The first time I ever really started playing the Isle, a friend of mine actually got me into it. I wasn't totally thrilled about it at first. First day I got on, it was just super fun, and I really liked how people could interact. Asura itself has kind of been grounding for me. I was going through a tough time before I actually got to Asura, and after, where it's the community, just, you do have your misfits, but Asura as a whole, with the staff members and everybody willing to help each other, that's one of the things I think that sets Asura apart. Is a lot of members would also agree that most staff members go out of their way to try to personalize their help with them or try to be as helpful as they can. Nikki is also, he does everything he can for his people, and I know Lengjan does also play a part in that as well. It's my happy place on the Isle, and you guys are my family, and so is everyone that's part of the community, regardless of whether or not I know them or not.
I find most joy in solo or doing mission on Juvis is like, living the life, moving around, not AFKing in a bush. I remember that the very first time I played, I grew a Carno, and I made it to full adult on the first attempt here in Asura. And that's basically the only server I played on, it's all I know. I didn't see many players during this time. I thought it was huge, just like killing Juvis on the beach, and eventually an adult Giga just killed me in the dark, and I learned my place. That was my first time playing the game. I'm not sure really. It's an interesting community. I wanted to say family, but that would be, like a dysfunctional family, I guess. But that's also the closest word I can find. Yeah, family. You have the ups and downs. There are nags at times, but the good times just make it worth it to me.
So I still remember there was this one day where I came home after work. I sat down at my PC, opened Steam, and I saw the game The Isle as suggested game on my Steam starting page. I started up the game and joined just a random server that wasn't completely empty, and that actually was Asura. That's now exactly 2.5 years ago, and ever since I've never played on any other server, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. Anyway, the first time I spawned in was as Utah, and well, my first experience wasn't that perfect, I'd say. You were just small dinosaur in this huge map, everything, like, you didn't know the game. So everything was new, you didn't know where to go, you didn't know what to do. But I had the luck, I spawned right next to Radio Tower, and the Utahs from Radio Tower, they instantly invited me, showed me how everything worked, they taught me the game basically, and from that moment on, I was sold. I non-stop played the game, I daily grew my dinosaurs, and got eaten by other dinosaurs, I guess. And I loved it. That was just a game and I loved it so much, or I still love it so much. After some time I eventually also got admin and became the partnered streamer of the server, which is a huge honor to me. I think the best memories I have from the server are from the events. One event I'll never forget is the Hypo event, the Hypo Carno event. It was a tournament, 2 versus 2, and I played with another friend of mine. Sadly, we didn't win. Actually, we lost in the first round, if I remember right. But, I mean, who can say that they ever played a Carno? I mean, that's pretty sick, right? Well, Asura means a lot to me. Like, a lot. And I've met so many people I can today call my friends, and I am just so happy to be part of the amazing team that manages the server. Asura been evolving to something amazing in the past, and I am so excited to see what the future brings.
Well, we came initially to Asura, I think, September, maybe October. A little bit before that, in 2019. Asura was still relatively young at that point, but we found Asura and it was a no-rule server, and it had buys, which at the time was fairly new to us, so we jumped on it. It was funny, but Nikki opened up another server that was a grow server. We found that the growth server actually brought us all together again because everyone was sort of spending time. So I have to say that was one of my first good experiences. It was just the fact that people would rather spend 6 hours together to grow something rather than, just buy something and get it for free. About November, I think it was, of that year, there was a big admin-funded campaign to attack HC, the Olivier South Twins at the time. And using the points, they would fund every other group on the server. Just constant Apex. And HC as a group held off the entire server for several hours until eventually we ran out. And that's one memorable experience because I was very, very impressed with the dedication of both sides, really. But HC really impressed me that night. There were a lot of people came together. But another one would be, I don't know if you still have it in your archives. This one happened in 2020, towards the middle, sorry. It was called the Great War, when there were a couple of groups named PAC, DFC, and Crown that had taken up residence in Loons Deep. And there was a big admin-funded war to sort of fight them. And the server went in first and admittedly got clapped. That was rather amusing, but then HC sort of went in and we were outnumbered, but we had about 60 people in the VC and we went up that hill and the fight was we also got clapped, by the way. We didn't come out of this one looking too good, but that was probably the biggest fight that had ever happened on Asura. I mean, I could be wrong, but there was well over 110, 120 people, individuals involved, not counting alt accounts. And that was a fantastic morning. If I could relive that one again, I would. And I'm sure there are quite a few people who would agree with me on that one. And smaller servers started to dry up. They just started to die. Servers dropped like flies. And eventually that led to most people, sorry to say, coming to Asura. Because Asura was kind of like that big watering hole in a drought. It had staying power, the ability to sort of last longer. And most of us figured if there were any servers out there that were going to sort of survive until the recode happened. So what's special about Asura and Nikki and the whole team is that they were able to provide a platform that kept the game alive for many of us while we waited. The end.
I've started playing the Isle around January 2019, and the server that I originally played on closed up quite shortly after I started playing, which meant obviously I had to find another server. I ended up on another no rule server, which shortly after became Asura. So I've been here around since there probably was around 20 users or something on Discord. I wanted to help out, so I contacted Nikki and Flossa if they needed help. And shortly after, we built a website for Asura. And this website was only really some small information about staff, some videos and images from the servers, nothing really that big. Some months later, Flossa, who was the original developer for Asura, left the server to start up somewhere else, and that basically meant that Asura had no bots, no websites or anything, like we were left in the dark. Without spilling too much tea, this was before I did Discord bots myself. So with help from some good friends named Ingibergor and Bima, we began the process of rebuilding basic tools to basically regain what was lost from Flossa. However, these two people weren't permanently here, so I slowly started getting the hang of these Discord bots. I have a background as a bachelor in web development, so it kinda came quickly. From this time till today, we've gone from a small server consisting about 20 people to have over 30,000 people on our Discord. There is a lot that the public don't see, and we had our own struggles too. I mean, we had times where our systems went down, and admins manually had to do like 100 injections each day per person, take the points manually, or we couldn't keep up with the demand. Especially like Benanazar and Nikki had long nights sometimes where they set up like no sleep for weeks just to do these injections. We've had our days where we thought Asura would be done, like not so much about the player numbers or anything, but just simply everything falling on top of our heads, stress, work, game patches interfering with our stuff, and you name it. Every day isn't easy, and sadly for the public, there's so much they don't tend to see behind the scenes, because like some of us easily works 15 to 20 hours in the server each day. Everything on the machines, data centers, or bots, websites, bug tools, discussions internally, getting out our merch, idea sharing, bans, kicks, rule breaks, drama, and you name it. So quite often you get that left-hand hook out of the blue where something crashes at 2 AM and you get out of bed to fix it just to go back into sleep, and something else crashes like 10 minutes later and you have to get back out. We've almost had our data centers burned down where all our servers and player files are, so who knows what would have happened there if that happened. We definitely had our harsh moments, but looking back at the last 3 years now, I'm very proud of what we achieved. We were one of the first servers, I'm not sure if actually the first, to do automated injections in-game. We were one of the first servers to develop our own ecosystems of bots and games and points and all that kind of stuff. We've developed our own anti-cheat for the OWL because, well, if Steam or the developers don't do it, then I guess we just do it ourselves. We were one of the first server to incorporate automated Patreon perks, the admin locks that we have, and other stuff to just make our lives easier behind the scenes. We were one of the first server to incorporate automated quests, color changing from Discord. And obviously as time gone by, these things has just escalated majorly. Like, we've been in games such as Day of Dragons, which I guess we lasted a weekend, that wasn't really that popular. We've been in Beast of Bermuda, which also only lasted for a couple of weeks. But I guess with Path of Titans being out now, I think we found a foothold for the time being in Path of Titans and the OWL. Most recently, we released a website where you're able to use our tools to do buys, request, inventory, random dinosaur, and quests and so on. Besides this, I've just released our Asura deathmatch map named Netjuro, where some of our focus right now is obviously making the map a joy for people to play on instead of the typical the OWL deathmatch map that's completely grey or looks boring. That being said, I never expected myself to get stuck in a dinosaur simulator game, especially since I have the past as a professional gamer in certain esports titles, competing at tournaments, and now I find myself bobbing my head up and down in a dinosaur game. Basically that's my job. Because now I'm not just doing this for Asura, but multiple other major servers within the game, and I actually enjoy it. It's been a complete pleasure to be here for the last 3 years. I've met some incredible, wonderful people, and many of those people will call friends for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that's the most special thing about Asura. That's the people. I think the people make the server great. I think the people is what makes the server alive. And with the new servers, we can see that yeah, we have a lot of people that want to play on the servers. So yeah, that's just amazing. Nikki, Malounia, and Quinn, they came to Iceland. Yeah, 2 days in Reykjavik, my town, and I got to meet them for one evening, and that was very fun. And I think Clappa is also gonna visit me maybe next year, and maybe I'll visit Clappa. I don't know. Maybe I'll visit PMAC. Who knows? Well, actually, I am actually going to Dublin next year, so I'll be close to Menix. So maybe I'll meet Menix. Who knows? Yeah. So yeah, that's just amazing. My most memorable thing from playing on Asura was the Hypo event. So it's actually, so Nikki Nikki did a bet with me. He said that if I could make it happen, he would give me co-owner. So I messaged the devs of the game, and I just told them what my idea was about the event. It took a long time to make it happen, but finally it did, and I think it is and was the only time a normal player had the ability to play legally, without cheats, as a hypo. And we had, I think, 3 battle royale events leading up to it, and the winners of the events got a spot for the final one, which was the hypo event. I think 3, it could be more. I mean, it's been a while. We made, I think we made deals with a few streamers. To stream it for us. We also made a YouTube video. Yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you, guys.